Okay, so Bojo Ani, everyone. Ishkoodeh Kwendish Nakas Makwadodem. Meanwhile, Jiken Dodem, I acknowledge my mother's plan. And Potawatomi, meanwhile, Lenny Lenape and Ishnabe Kwendao. Neyaashinigming, meanwhile, Raventown, and Dow. And so I just want to say Chimigwech for having us and for this coming together. I want to say Chimigwech and greetings to everyone out there on Zoom land and all over Turtle Island, I understand, and from many territories. So I just want to welcome everyone. And so when we start this off, you know, it's really important. Well, in our culture and in our tradition and what we do in our church is we light our fire, our sacred fire. So we have a match, we have a candle here with the 4 colors, and you may know it as a Christ candle, and I'm going to call it a sacred fire for us. So the candle's been lit, so we now have a fire. We have the spirit of the fire joining us and all of our ancestors. And the other thing that we like to do is we like to acknowledge our grandmothers, eh? And Joyce is not only my mother-in-law, she's also my grandmother, and she's a teacher and she's a leader in our community. And everyone, you know, a lot of young people in our community acknowledge Joyce and come to her, and she's sought out often by community members and looked to for support. And so I'm going to the teachings are starting right away, so pay attention, because I'm not going to point them out. You know, one thing that we're taught when we're growing up is that we pay attention to our surroundings and we watch, you know, we observe and we pay attention. We don't write things down, we don't take pictures. We don't ask to be, I know this is being recorded, however, we don't, you know, we don't do that when we're sitting with our elders, eh? And it's with respect, right? So I'm going to ask Nokomis if she can say a prayer for us. But before I do that, there's an important step. So what I have here is sema. And what I have here is a piece of cloth, and I have some ribbon. And so there's a step that we need to do when we do this, when we approach our grandmothers and our grandfathers and we ask for something, and it's all about giving and receiving. You know, Creator gave Sema as a gift. And one of our medicines. And so I've got this sema on my left hand, and it's closest to my heart. And Creator knows what I'm going to do with this sema, with this tobacco, you know. And so I'm going to put it in my claw, and then I'm going to cut myself a piece of ribbon that I have here. Here we go. And then I'm just going to build myself a tobacco tie. And so you probably saw that I used quite a bit. That's a nice size tobacco tie. I hope you can see that. So I'm going to tie it up. And Creator already knows my intention. And now I'm going to use my voice, this gift that Creator gave me, eh? And I'm going to hold this tobacco tie, and I'm going to make it look pretty because it's what I like to do. And presentable, right? We take care in how we do our things. So I have this sema tie, and I'm going to turn to my Nokomis and ask her, would you please honor us with a prayer and opening for this gathering of all the people on Zoom land and all over Turtle Island? We'd be really grateful if you could do that for us.
I would be honored to do that. So I will hold this tobacco tie while I say my prayer. And as I expressed before we started, we really got into the session, I did write a prayer this morning for the people from the Ukraine and the Russian people, because I don't think God picks sides. He loves everybody. He loves all of us. And that's why I think I love the saying that the youth have picked up. We love you no matter what. So anyways, this is the prayer that I wrote this morning. I address it to all my relations. Creator God, we know you love all of us. And we thank you for all the blessings that you have provided. Our hearts are heavy, filled with love for the people of Ukraine and Russia, and especially today, as a battle for territory has commenced in their part of the world. We pray for those who are the casualties of this action. We pray for those, including ourselves, who are witnessing this. We have feelings of powerlessness regarding this action. We pray for those who are caught and traumatized because of what is happening in their land. We pray that somehow, some way, that this can come to an end and a new relationship can be established. Creator, we know it is up to those in power to sit and to work out those just solutions. Creator God, gift them with wisdom, prosperity, kindness, positivity, caring, peace, and love, especially for the leaders, so that they can guide the people they serve. Shine a light that we may be what you wanted us to be, brothers and sisters, and together we can enjoy peace, justice, and prosperity the world over that you have created for us. We ask this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I'm glad. So that's one of the things that we do with the tobacco. Creator gave us many gifts, and we're blessed to have so many medicines, and in our culture, and we use them for so many things. And we have I brought with me a basket full of cloth and other ribbon, just to give you an idea. So that specific tobacco tie came from this red cloth, and it fits very nicely in a baggie. And I was always taught that when we say our prayers, when we say our prayers and we make that sema offering, it's what we give. What we give is what's going to be in our prayers, and Creator answers all prayers. And sometimes we just need a little pinch, right? And we can go out and make an offering. And it's basically a trade, and it's an offering, and it's a gift. So in giving and receiving,
it's almost like a contract.
yeah.
So we've made a contract together. So we don't have a document or a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
But what she said to me, she said, Joyce, will you pray for this opening on Zoom? And so I'm being asked, I'm being honored.
Mm-hmm.
She's giving me this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she extends it to me and I take it in my left hand and hold it close to my heart, that means that our contract is done. I have agreed to do it, and now we are doing it together. Mm-hmm. We are giving and receiving together. Mm-hmm. And a lot of what happens in Indigenous country is done with tobacco. My friend there, Therese, has sent us, I guess we call it cyberspace tobacco. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so she always acknowledges when she's asking for something from us, if we will accept that. And so it's just a sign of respect. we do things in different ways, you know, and giving and receiving is really a kind of a contract, and it brings us unity. It brings us together. We're on the same page. We're doing this for all the right things, and we're acknowledging that. And she is my gift. Woman is my gift. She brings me many things. She's a very traditional woman. She sings the songs. She knows the ceremonies, which is something that I don't know. I get to witness, but I don't know them. I know of them, but I don't know how to do them. So it just pleases me that she's willing to share this with me, because we share my son.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a bond, something that draws people closer together. And it offers us an opportunity to do that.
So one of the four main medicines, or the four main gifts that Creator gave us, is tobacco, sage, sweetgrass, and cedar. And I always like to think that all the medicines that we have, that we use, I'm also a medicine maker and a medicine picker, and you know, and they're all gifts. Everything is a gift. Everything is alive, and everything has a spirit, right? And if you'll have noticed, you know, one thing that I was taught, and I didn't listen, it took me a long time to learn, is that when someone offers you a tobacco tie, you don't take it right away. You got to ask the question, right? And you got to find out what that's about first. And also we have the right to say, let me get back to you on that. I'm going to think about that for a little bit, and then, you know, come and ask me again later, eh? You know? And so you might have noticed that I just held on to that until she said yes, you know, and that's respect as well. And we don't take offense if we say, no, I can't, I can't accept that, eh? You know, but we can suggest others maybe that might be able to do that work that's needed, right? And yeah, and so, you know, in today's society, we're really lucky to have cloth. You know, we're really lucky to have cloth, and we're really lucky to have ribbon, you know, to help us to make our tobacco ties. And one of the, there's so many ways to do it. You know, these are 1 meter each. So when we make our flag, you know, and it's referenced to, you know, our own personal flag. And so when I make my flag, I use 1 meter of cloth, and I'll use a good handful of this sema, okay? And I'll put that in here. And sometimes I might put some cedar in there, and I might put some sage, or I might put some sweetgrass in there, you know, and there's meaning for all of these medicines, you know, there's a meaning behind everything, and it's a really long, they're long teachings, right? So, and I'm trying to condense in the time that we have, but so yeah, and we all have our own colors that we use, right? And so I'll use that for personal flags. And I'll maybe hang those up at ceremony or take them with me.
And she does an awful lot of work in the community with grief. So when people pass in this community, especially during the COVID, we weren't allowed to hold wakes and funerals in the manner that we're accustomed to. So Sheila and her I hate to call them cronies, but the people that walk in the way that she does, her sisters, they come together and they make 200 ties that are taken to the sacred fire. And so when people come to that sacred fire, which is outside, they are offered the opportunity to take a tie to for their own intention, for whatever it is they think they need or somebody in their family needs. And they pray into that tie. The Creator knows why they've taken it. They don't even have to verbalize it because the Creator knows what's in your heart. And so even when we did the stuff for the opening of the regional meeting, Sheila did ties for that. She did ties for murdered and missing women. She did ties for the children, when we honored the children, the first 215 that were found. And it allows people to be included in a process that helps them to find a way to grieve or to acknowledge whatever is in their heart in a good way. So she's I've watched her do ties. She can tie tobacco like nobody else I know.
I brought some examples of my little squares and different colors that we use. So we use all the colors in the rainbow, eh? And so I have red. This is my orange, my yellow, and they all fit really nice. If you want a good measurement of cutting squares, a sandwich bag works really well. And green and blue and purple and white and black. Now I say black because a lot of people will substitute purple and black. I don't know if you can see that, but this is purple and this one's black. And what I was taught is that the black is a very sacred color. And it's a combination of all the colors in the world. Every color that you can think of is combined into one color, and that's black. And that's what makes black so beautiful, right? And so I have that as well. And then I have patterned colors that I use as well. And so the significance of the flowered patterns and stripes and dots and stuff, there's significance in why we use the different colors and different patterns, because even colors in our culture have a significant meaning. These are grandmother ties. These are for grandmothers, eh? Woo. And I prayed about it, and I thought, what color am I going to give Joyce? And I'll tell you, the reason why I picked red, because red is one of our healing colors. And we all need healing prayers, and it's a huge honor to receive, a prayer from a grandmother, and for healing, eh? And if you listen closely in her prayer, and she talked about the people in those countries that are warring and suffering, how appropriate. So you see, when we listen to Creator God or Spirit guides us, and Spirit tells us what we need to do, and how to look after these things. And so I try to prepare myself, because we've had our community has suffered many losses since this whole COVID came about. None due to COVID, mind you, but still a lot of losses, as well as many other communities, right? So when people are grieving, or suffering a loss or going through a hard time, they can't think, right? They're in a different realm, if you will. They're in a different plane. And so as a helper to our community and a helper to the elders, we're often asked, and the families will ask, well, I don't have tobacco. Sheila, have you got? Absolutely, I got tobacco. And this is one of our main medicines that we use, because we do offer it into our fire. We use that and we put it into our sacred fire, and all our prayers goes into this tobacco. We might have someone stand, with that tobacco in their hand for a really long time, and because of COVID, we wanted to we tried to think COVID friendly, right? And so So I'm fully vaccinated, and I'm not, afraid to say that. I fought it. I didn't want to be vaccinated. I didn't want to, but you know what? Because my people, needed me to be there, and the elders needed me to be there, and my daughter's dad needed me to be there. And so I talked with my daughter, and we decided it was important for us to get vaccinated, right? So we could go and we can help the people, and we stay home and we look after ourselves, and we do we wear the mask and we keep the distance, and
You don't know, but we're 6 feet apart here.
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
We're our own little bubble. And I make the ties, like she said, I make all of the ties, and we put them in a beautiful basket, right? And I carry my little basket around full of ties, and if anybody needs tobacco tie, then we have that. And it's a lot, then people can just come, look in the basket, see a tie they want, and just pick it out, as opposed to picking up some sema to put in. So we've tried to make it a lot easier and a lot friendlier for our community members when they come together during celebration of life ceremonies, and our community fire, which is I love you no matter what. So we think about all of these things, and we want to be respectful to everyone. We want to be respectful, and we invite them to take ties home if they want and bring them back later, or they can hang them in the tree. Yeah, they can take it apart and put it in the earth. They can make their own fire at home, And I'm also going to share that I help out with the full moon ceremony in our community as well, and that's honoring our grandmother, the Nokomis, right? And that's a time when we can come together and we do that, and we do everything COVID friendly again. And I have to acknowledge all the men that are involved in our ceremonies. My husband's a firekeeper, and he's pipe carrier, bundle carrier, so I have to acknowledge all the men in our community and that help us with all of these things. And in order, and again, right, in order to get that help, what do? We make our ties, and we offer them some sema to do those things. We have to ask. And one of the firekeepers had mentioned to me at the last sacred fire that was lit, he said, it's up to a grandmother to take care of those things, I'm a grandma. I'm a new grandma.
Yeah.
I have my first grandson, and I'm just so excited, and I'm really happy to see those little ones that have joined us there, with our tech Diane. And so I'm a grandma, and I'm just so happy, and I can't wait for my grandson to grow up, because his grandpa Ken is going to teach him how to be a good firekeeper. Anyways, okay, so the other thing, I was talking about the full moon and how we have full moon ceremony, and I'm just going to say there's no right or wrong way in Anishinaabe life. That's what the grannies taught me as I've been on this journey. There's no right or wrong way. They taught me to follow my heart. If it feels good, it's right. And you can't let nobody, because there's a lot of people that's going to be out there saying, no, you can't do that, or no, that's not how you do. No. That's not what the grandmothers taught me. They said, Sheila, there's no right or wrong way in Anishinaabe life, and you follow your heart, because Creator will tell you. You just have to learn to listen, and you have to learn to pay attention, right? You'll know, because your heart never lies. Your heart will always tell you the truth, and these gifts that Creator gave us, we always ask to see good with these eyes, and we always ask to hear good with these ears, and to smell those good things that Creator has gifted us, you know, the earth and the trees, and to speak good, kind words, right? And to touch things in a good way with that gentle touch, you know. And so we give all those teachings when we have our full moon ceremony, and that's when we can make flags. You can use 1 meter, like I said. You can use a little square if you wish, or you can make a nice long skinny one like this. And there's lots of teachings, and this one already has Sema. So one of the things that I like to do for myself, and I don't expect anyone else to do this, is that so we have our full moon, and I take my pies and I put my pies into that sacred fire, okay? But what I do is after that pie is done, I make myself new ones. I make myself new pies for the month, and I carry them. They stay by my bed. I hang them up. I spend time with them. So in times of distress or upset or whatever, you know, I hang on to my tobacco, because that's what I believe. I believe in my tobacco. I believe my prayers will be answered, you know. And we're always taught that the first one we make for ourselves. And I'm not excluding the men either, because the men can do this as well. Mm-hmm. And we can make ties. You can make ties for your little ones. I make ties for my grandson, you know, and my daughters and my husband, you know, and my sisters and my brothers. I can make ties for as many people as I want, right? And so we can do that. We can make these ties in whatever color, you know, because it doesn't matter. It's whatever your heart feels, right? And so yeah, so I just wanted to share that part as well with these flags that I've made. So because I don't have, when I get to the next full moon, these flags will go with me, and they'll be put into the sacred fire. And when we weren't able to have full moon ceremony, my daughter and I, Georgia, we had our own ceremony at home when we were in total lockdown. And we took our flags out to the trees, eh? We hung them up in the trees. We asked the tree, we offered. We took our sema in our hands and talked to that tree and introduced ourselves. And we asked that tree if they could help us and if they could carry our ties for us, for a short time, so that we can go and put them in the fire later on, And sometimes you'll pay attention. If you pay attention to the elements, because they're there, spirit will answer you, Spirit answers, and you might feel a little gust of wind come and say, oh, yes. And you'll feel it down your back, and you'll feel it in your body. And you can hang that tie up in the tree. Oh, miigwech kashanado. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, God, for listening to me, for hearing me. And you can hang that up in the tree,
Yeah, when we went out to Alberta, in October, in the fall, and we went to a place, Petroforms in Manitoba. Mm-hmm. And I had never been there before, and neither had Sheila. Well, we got to this place, and it just blew me away, because there were all these tobacco ties in the trees and the branches and all over the place. So I knew that this tradition of putting down the medicine and asking for something wasn't just an Ontario Indigenous method of connecting with Creator. It was all over the place. And and like she said, there's no right or wrong way of doing prayer. Mm-hmm. You know, you can never go wrong with prayer. Mm-hmm. And you can pray anywhere. You know, some of the greatest prayers I've had in my lifetime have been in the middle of the night in my bathtub. Mm-hmm. Well, I tried to come to terms with problems that weighed heavy on me. And it's funny how water and all these other things that are gifted to us to help us in life speak to us. That things will be okay. Just be patient and listen. Whatever needs to be will be. Whatever happens will happen. But you have to remain aware, you know. So I was really happy when she agreed to do this. and because I watch her do her work. And there's no sign, she doesn't have an office, she doesn't have an employer. No, she does this because this is part of what she believes in and about. And even when we have our powwow, there are baskets of tobacco ties because there's a lodge, a sacred fire lodge that sits on the ground, and people will say to me, "What's this for?" And I said, "Well, you might have an intention or something you want to, or a message you want to give to Creator, or a prayer you want to offer to Him. Now is a good time. Maybe you just want to do an address. An address is like a prayer where you just thank God for all the blessings He's given to us, the creation He's made for us, the waters, the sky, the animals, the trees, the growth, all the things that are here for us to use." And so, and it's funny because I can remember when I hold this, and I'm holding this close to my heart. And these are the prayers for our brothers and sisters, because I can't do anything more than just to pray that some relief will come for these people. And that the great minds or the great leaders over there will sit down and do the job that they need to do. And so I'm asking tonight, I know that Therese is likely somebody to do a closing prayer. Let's remember them again. You know, they need our support. Yeah.
And I also have, so sometimes non-smokers are uncomfortable going to buy tobacco, okay? And even smokers are uncomfortable going to buy tobacco, okay? And sometimes people just don't have the money to go and buy tobacco, right? Well, remember when I said, you know, it's a gift from Creator, right? And when we ask, we receive. So this tobacco was a gift. This was gifted to me by somebody. And they said, "Sheila, I know you're a big helper in the community. I want to give you this gift. And I want to give you this cloth, to help you with your work, And so I'm so grateful for this. I'm grateful for this gift. And I took a bag out west when we went, and we made flags, and we put flags up while we were out there. And I left flags for the students and tobacco and medicines and cedar that they need, you know, out west. So when you go out west, I'm promoting out west now. When you go out west to visit, take them some cedar. Talk to that cedar tree and tell that cedar tree, hey, take some tobacco. Talk to that cedar tree and say, can you help our relatives out west, please? Hey, introduce yourself, because they need cedar out there. They need lots of help too, And sometimes, so we work with people in our community that don't have a lot of jonya, that don't have a lot of money, right? And they say money is the root of all evil. Well, no, it's not the root of all evil. You know, it's how we perceive it, right? However, they need to prioritize and use their money for something else. So maybe they need food or diapers or something in their household, pay their bills, right? Well, I'm going to tell you, you know, a grandmother talked to me a long time ago. I'm not saying this in an ego way, okay? Just so you all know, I'm not using ego here. I was asked to bring my pipe to come. And it's not my pipe, it's the one that looks after me. I was asked to bring the pipe bundle to a ceremony. And there was a grandmother there and she said, okay. So me and my sister, we brought our pipe and we pulled her out and we brought out this tobacco. And she said, what's this? We said, it's tobacco, it's sema. She said, that's not tobacco, that's chemical tobacco. That's got chemicals in it. She said, I said, okay, well, she said, you need to go out there and you need to find the medicine because you know what? Creator gave us tobacco. Creator gave us all the medicines that we need for those pipes. You don't put, this is the last time you'll put that chemical tobacco in those flogons, she said, eh? And so we said, okay. She said, you go out there and you talk to your elders, you talk to your grandmothers and grandfathers and the medicine pickers and makers because they'll help you, they'll guide you. So I listened to my elders. When you get a scolding like that, you listen to your elders, right? You don't argue with them, we listen. So I said, okay. So, and I made my, you know, I did that. I made tobacco ties and I went out and I found medicine pickers and I found medicine makers and I asked for help because I didn't know. How was I supposed to know what tobacco looks like, right? This is our tobacco. This is natural tobacco. It grows in your backyard maybe, right? And when we grow our tobacco, I know it's really dried out because I picked this before the winter came during the spring, summer, or the summer and fall time, end of spring, I picked this. And I know you can't really see it, but I'm trying to put it back together a little bit, but I have some leaves here. This is our tobacco, okay? This is our sema. This is wild sema, okay? And so for those who don't know what that is, it's very simple, and it's one of our medicines. It's mullein. That's what it is. This is mullein. This is mullein. And not only is mullein a tobacco, and there's many types of tobacco that we have and that we can pick. We still offer sema for it because we have to talk to that plant and make that trade, eh? And we talk to the plants and we ask them to help us for whatever we need. Now, I'm going to share something about mullein that some of you may not know. Mullein is actually a really good healer. It's a healer medicine. And it helps with swelling. It helps with infection. Eh? It can take that away. And it's an asthma. It helps with respiratory. You know, so if we get sick, we can make mullein tea and we can drink that. And if we sprain our wrist or something, or sprain our foot, and I'll tell you, I sprained my foot. That's how I know about mullein, because the ladies that were helping me and working with me at one point in my life, when I sprained my foot, I think you were there, Joyce. They went out and they picked mullein. They took tobacco and they went out and they found a mullein plant. They brought it in. They got a little pot of water. They put it on the stove and they put that mullein in the water, in the boiling water for a few seconds. Then they pulled it out and they put it on my sprain. And when they put it on my sprain, the swelling went down almost immediately, eh? So, and not only that, but when we grow our own tobacco with tobacco seeds, you know, I have seeds that grow. It looks just like the mullein plant, but I'll tell you that the tobacco leaves can be used as an antiseptic, okay? It can heal cuts and wounds. So, you know, these are real gifts from Creator, okay? They're real gifts from Creator, and we're so blessed you know, that Creator loves us so much to give us all of these gifts and all of these teachings. And one of the things that the grandmas told me, because people disagree, they disagree with how I do things, right? But the grandmas always told me, it's your turn to give back now. You have to give back, they said. And so you'll have to teach everyone that wants to know, okay? And
yeah.
so that's what I do. That's the work that I do. And with Creator's help and the help of our ancestors, Geshem Oxoconic, you know, and all of those spirits, and we have lots of helpers, you know, what I do. And this is what makes me feel really good, you know. And I just, so yeah, I'm not sure what time it is, but I'm sure people have questions. I'm sorry if I talk too long. No, I take that back. I'm not sorry.
We will now serve scone and tea.
Yeah.
And it would have been so nice to have a session like this combined with other things, other teachings, where we could have actually sat in a circle and had our scone and tea and jam and been able to ask questions of each other and to experience putting the ties in that. And but yeah, I think it's been a great evening. I always learn something when I'm with her, you know, and because I've done this over and over again. So just when you think you've got it all down pat, a new piece of information, because I knew a little bit about the mullet, but I think it was what you. So there are gifts. There's things out there that grow in your backyard that are likely medicine, if I might, you know. So I think we just gathered good.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
Oh, I want to tobacco. This tobacco came from Six Nations. That to me, there's no chemicals in this tobacco. So there are tobacco growers and processors will make ceremony tobacco chemical. Okay, just so you know, but you have to ask for it specifically, right? You'll have to know where to go and you have to ask. And so I'm really grateful that, you know, they gifted me this because, you know, we're not putting chemicals into our sacred fires, okay? But you know what? Creator forgives everyone. Creator loves everyone. And yeah, I'm so grateful. I just feel so good. Miigwech.
Oh, miigwech. I see that there are questions. So Jan.
Miigwech. My question is, how long, can you hear me? Miigwech, how long is the tobacco good for when you have a big package? Because I bought some, and then the person I bought it for, we didn't see each other because of COVID, so it's a couple years old. So I don't know if it would be a bad thing to use now, you know?
It should be okay. Have you looked at it?
It looks the same as when I bought it.
It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as long as it's been stored in a cool, dry place,
Yes.
it's fine. I use plastic bags and I also use paper bags.
Okay.
And paper bags are really good for when you're picking fresh medicines after hanging them.
Yes.
And it's really good to store in. So if you're worried about it, you can put it in a brown paper bag and store it in there too, and maybe double bag it just in case for your own, you know, make you feel good, peace of mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Miigwech.
And Gord.
Hi, Joyce. Hi, Sheila. It's good to see you.
Hi.
I want to get up there soon. Anyway, you know that I've talked about tobacco ties with you earlier, and I want to take to heart the teaching you got from the elders, Sheila, about not that chemical stuff, because quite frankly, I did buy 5 pouches of tobacco here in Kincardine.
Hey,
That's okay?
hey, that's okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's all I wanted to know, because otherwise I wanted to source the right stuff.
And we'd love to see you up here again, Gord. We could go out. Come, Gord, if you like.
Well, actually, I have a study week coming up in a little over a week. So, Joyce, I'll FaceTime you. Anyway, I shouldn't. I'll shut up.
I was going to say that at first, but we love to hear from him. He's a favorite here at Neyaashinigming.
And I see my former classmate, Pam.
Thanks. Quick and easy question. What is the proper spelling for mullen?
Oh, okay. It's M-U-L-L. I think it's E-U-N.
That's what I was wondering about that vowel.
I know it's E-I-N. M-U-L-L-E-I-N. I actually just looked it up too.
Miigwech.
I don't spell it that way.
We're great creators.
Thanks, Pam.
Now, how do I lower my hand?
And Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Jack, could you unmute to ask your question?
Do you have a special ceremony on the birth of a child that you conduct?
Absolutely.
What do you do?
Oh gosh, that would take a really long time, Jack. But there is a ceremony. There's a welcoming ceremony, and when a baby comes into the world, and there's things that our people do to acknowledge and to introduce baby to all of creation. You can light a fire. You can hold your tobacco, make your ties, and talk to God, talk to Creator, and the ancestors of baby, and ask for help. You can ask for things. You can be specific when you talk to God, and pray for baby. You know, that is a ceremony, and that's a ceremony. You know, and just welcoming the baby. When the baby comes into the world, you just say, "Oh, welcome to this new world." You know, it's like introducing yourself, right? Oh, you can introduce baby to everything. You know, that is a ceremony. Everything that we do, Jack, is ceremony. Hey, we're all ceremony, and always walking with God. Hey, we're always walking with God. Creator's always with us. Okay, so yeah, just follow your heart, pray, use your tobacco tie, you know, use your sema and pray and ask for help. One of the first prayers Nokomis taught me was, she said, one of the simplest prayers is you pick up some tobacco and you say, "God help me." It's that simple. 3 words. God help me. Okay, God guide me. Right? So you can do that. You can have ceremony for the new baby. Absolutely.
Thank you. Miigwech.
Hello, my turn. You frequently mention the grandmothers or grandmothers, which is stimulating my question, because my grandmother was of unknown origin, but my father believed that she was Indigenous in background. And by way of the first white settlers in Hamilton, who traded with the Mississauga. One clue, perhaps, to her Indigenous background is that my uncle claimed that she made great pigeon pie, which doesn't sound like something she inherited from her Scottish background or anything like that. I was wondering, I've been told that you talked to the grandmothers about your lineage. Is that basically what you have to do, is to sort of try to identify what tribal background they might have and somehow connect with the grandmothers?
First thing, Jim, I want to let you know is that I have these colors, red and yellow, black and white. Okay. And we are all a part of Mother Earth. We're all sisters and brothers. And one of the very first lodges that I went to, it was the Medewan Lodge. And the first thing the chief of the Medewan Lodge said to me was that every single person on Turtle Island has a drop of Anishinaabe blood in them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say, yes, your grandmother has a drop of Anishinaabe, has a drop of, we're all related. We are all related, eh? And, but certainly, if you had an idea of what territory or what province she may have come from, most definitely, I would probably say, yeah, you know, and you can talk to Creator. And when I say grandmothers, I'm talking about grandmothers. And I'm also talking about the grandmothers in the spirit world, my grandmothers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my ancestral line, because my grandmothers go way back, okay? Your grandmothers, Jim, they go way back. You got a line of ancestors, of grandmothers and grandfathers standing right behind you. You can talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
You believe and trust, right? Ask them to come and visit you. Offer your tobacco. Sleep with that tobacco tie if you have to, eh? And ask. Creator will bring them to you. You might get an answer in a dream. You might meet someone older than you who knows. You never know, right? But it's up to you to pay attention to your surroundings, because the answers will come. You just have to believe. You have to believe. And if you believe in God, Creator, then they'll come. They will. And they'll give you your answer, and you'll just know. You might go somewhere and you might feel that connection, right? You might get a goosebumps or something, a tingles in your body, right? That means your body is reacting to whatever's happening, and you're resonating. It's resonating with you. So it's there, you know, we just have to ask, you know, because no human being on this earth can give you that answer, but Creator can, God can, and I believe that, because that's what I do. I talk to Creator God all the time, and I ask those questions, and I always get my answer. So have faith and give that a shot, Jim. That's a suggestion. I'm not telling you what to do. It's a suggestion, because everyone has free will, right? And that's up to you to decide. So, you know, hopefully you'll get your answer. I pray you will. I'm going to pray for you, Jim, and talk to your ancestors. I'm going to use my Sema for you. Can I do that for you?
Thank you. Yes.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to make some grandmother tobacco ties for you. Okay? And I'm going to pray, and I'm going to talk to your ancestors and ask Creator, ask God to help you, okay, to find the answers, and maybe a dream or a vision will come for you. I pray that happens for you, okay? I'll do that for you, Jim.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got two people waiting for questions, and that might be all that we have time for. But there's one other thing that we did invite people to bring some fabric and bring ribbon if they wanted. And can we make our ties now while we're on the webinar? Do you have any guidance for us, wisdom for us on what to do before we make it and as we make it?
So yeah, absolutely. So maybe if someone wants to, I can do this, and I'll do the show. If whoever has the next question, I can do that. I'm gonna make Jim ties for him right now, and I can show you how to do that, eh? I'm just gonna put this down a little bit more so you can see.
Can we maybe make our tie while you do, as we follow you?
You can make your ties. You can, here, how about if I make a tie for Jim and you make a tie for Jim, okay? And I can answer a question while we're doing this so that we don't run out of time, because I don't like to leave people hanging.
My question, can you hear me? I think so. Okay.
Yes.
Says Joe, that's my husband. He started, but he wasn't feeling well, so he left the call. So I'm Melanie, and I am so intrigued and so interested. I did an amazing drum circle, and I made a drum out of deer skin, and we did the as well the oh gosh, and I'm terrible at the name, so we did it, stretched it over the and I can't remember the wood. It was I think it was birch or wood, anyways. And then we did the ties for the north, south, east, and west. And we did a drum ceremony. And I am so interested in talking with you. I sent you, I don't know if you saw it, but I sent you a private message with my phone number asking if I could connect with you. I would love to learn more about your full moon ceremony. And I don't know if you would be interested in talking with me. I don't know where you're located. Are you located in Ontario?
We're located on the Bruce Peninsula.
Okay, not near me.
The map of Ontario, we look like Snoopy on the map.
Okay.
Where are you at?
I'm in near Chatham.
Oh, that's not far. That's local.
Okay. So I don't know if you can see my phone number, but I sent it on there. Can I give it to you? It doesn't matter if everybody else has it. I would love to meet with you in person. I asked if you would be interested in mentoring me. I am so intrigued, and you've got me excited. I want to learn. So my number is 519 784 7662. And we're actually moving back to Florence, which is really close to Moravian Town. So you're not that awfully far from me. I would drive to you if you would like. And
your name, I'm sorry. What's your
my name is Melanie, MELANIE Simpson. So I won't take any more of the conversation time, but when you have a few minutes, you can text or call that number. Sheila,
okay.
What a blessing you are. What a blessing. You as well, Joyce. Thank you.
And can I ask Sheila, so when one of us has a request like that, based on the teaching that I've heard, that's a time to have the tobacco, is it? And offer it
Yes.
when we ask.
When I go to meet with Melanie, and when we say Joyce and I go down there and we go to meet with her, she'll have her tobacco ties ready for us. And so we'll talk about that first. I've got her number and her name, and we'll talk about that first.
Excellent.
And then we'll move to accepting or not accepting, and then we'll move to that part.
Okay.
So you notice when there's 4 corners on this thing, on the cloth. So when she draws them up, they represent the north, the south, the east, and the west. So even when she did this one for the people from Russia and Ukraine, it's calling in all the people of the world, irrespectively of where they live, north, south, east, or west. It's inclusive. It's an inclusive bundle. I'm really proud of mine, how I did a good job of dressing it.
So if it's okay with Jim, what we're gonna do, these are your tobacco ties. I'm just gonna put this back up. I hope everyone was able to see what we did there. And so I took some natural tobacco and I put some of that in his tie too. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna ask Nokomis Joyce here if she'll pray to talk to Jim's ancestors and carry that until such time she feels she can make that offering out on the land or into a fire. Maybe her son can make her a fire and we can come together. And I'm gonna say we're gonna hang on to that for 13 days, okay? Because we have 13 grandmother moons, okay? Our generations go way back, but we're gonna go back as far as 13. So you bet. And Brenda has her hand up.
I'll try and be quick. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much. It's so appreciated. The question I have is, what does the response need to be to those who are non-Indigenous when they ask the question, are they allowed to perform any or all or none of the ceremonies that we have?
My response, I can't speak for everyone else, but what I would say is, Brenda, you can do that for yourself. If you need help with others, please ask someone in your territory and talk to them about that. Look for some grandmothers and grandfathers in your territory and speak to them about that. Maybe you can assist them and help them because, grannies and papas always need lots of help, eh? But that's what I would say. And for the most part, there's a lot of, I found a lot of non-native people, okay, who are really not comfortable doing that. And that's why they come and ask us for assistance, right? And I would also say to you, Brenda, you have your own ceremonies. I don't know what your nationality is, but every single person on that medicine wheel has their own ceremonies, has their own drums, has their own songs.
Yeah, her father's free.
Oh, well, there you go. If your dad's free, yeah, absolutely. Talk to your dad, ask him. Absolutely.
Okay, I personally feel very comfortable with my own ceremonies. I think what I was wanting to know is when non-Indigenous people say, I want to do a ceremony, but I don't know if it's allowed. I don't know how to answer them, whether
Okay.
they are allowed to perform the ceremonies or not.
Well, I've helped a lot of people in my 20 years of walking this path, Brenda. And I've given permission for non-Native people ceremony for themselves. And only after I speak to one of my grandmothers and I ask them, you know, as long as they know it comes from Anishinaabe, tell them to go and find in their own backgrounds, their own ceremonies, because everyone has it, like I said, right? So that's what I've helped a lot of people. And like I said, we all share Mother Earth. They have their own ceremonies. For example, here's a really good example. Okay, so here on the Bruce Peninsula, here we are, and we have all the different races, right? And I've worked for a lot of organizations in the helping field, right, with ceremony and culture. Okay, so for example, up the Bruce Peninsula, you know, we have the Celtic. Okay, that's their ceremony. They have their own ceremonies. They have their own drums. They have their own songs, and they actually do full ceremonies. People went out and researched, you know, and they have their own art, and it's very similar to ours, and it's beautiful. It's very, very beautiful, you know. So they do this. I got invited to their full moon ceremony so I could see what that was about, and it's absolutely beautiful. So together, we work together, you know, we work together to do ceremony. I asked if I could take a little bit of something from their ceremony to work into our ceremony, and they said yes. Eh? There's beautiful women up the peninsula. So, you know, there's the Celtic. That's their ceremony. They have drums. You got the, you know, the Black race, right, that lives on Turtle Island. They have their own ceremony. They have beautiful drums, and they make such beautiful sounds, and they have different drums that they use. They have ceremonies, and they're beautiful ceremonies. We're going to Jamaica, and I'm hoping to find a ceremony when I go out there, because I want to learn something from the African grandmothers.
It's awesome. They are awesome ceremonies. Trust me.
I can't
Thank
wait.
you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And even the Asians, while I'm at it, you know, the yellow race, they have their own ceremonies and they have drums. What I know about them, we had Juan come from, he was from Korea. We had a young man come from Korea.
Yeah.
His name was Juan, and we were having full moon ceremony. My boys taught him how to be fire keeper at the sacred fire. And we went out and we sang, okay? And he had his little round flute, mouth flute or whatever. And so the granny told him, sing it across the water all the way to Korea. And he just cried. He was so happy. He actually shed tears.
Yeah.
He said, you have no idea. I've been in Canada. He said, for 3 months. I miss my family. He said, at this time, what you're doing right now, at this time, our ceremony is 10 days long. Okay? Yeah. 10-day ceremony. I said, I had goosebumps. I said, oh my God, I would love to be in ceremony for 10 days straight. That would, morning, noon, and night. They feast like we do. So you see, each culture has their own ceremony. It's just up to you to go find it. That's all. That's what I know about that. Hope that helps.
Well, Jimmy Gooch, thank you. Thank you for, in such a short amount of time, sharing such deep and rich teachings. We have been blessed. The Spirit has been in our midst and has spoken through you. You said that we had asked someone to pray. I have not asked someone to close us with prayer. I've been asking the Spirit what's to do, and there are two things that came. I have a feeling that that there might be a way that the Spirit would speak through one or both of you in prayer, and the other one is to invite everybody to participate in prayer by sharing your gratitude with God, Creator, and then after sharing that gratitude, if you wish to share what you would ask, and so I often offer it as completing the sentence. I thank God today. And the second sentence, if you want to add this one, thank you is enough of a prayer. But if you're going to ask God for something, it's important to say thank you first, and then with that presence of gratitude to offer your concern or your request of God. And so I thank God today is the first sentence. And if you wish, you can complete the sentence, I ask God today. I'm going to invite you to share that prayer by typing it in the chat. For some people, the chat is not an easy thing to do because of how our fingers work or how our technology works. So you might like to unmute and just say a couple of words, because there's 60 of us still here, and we don't have time for even 1 minute each. That's an hour. So 1 second each, that's a minute. But the Spirit has time for all of the prayers that we have to offer. And so you can do it in your own time. And Sheila, Joyce.
I'd like for you, if that's okay, to close us up.
Can we perhaps think of the Ukrainian people in our prayer?
Yes. So I'm going to just do a quick short prayer. And I'm sorry if I'm not able to read all the chat. If you need to reach us, maybe through Therese or Joyce, okay? Bojo Gishanado, Ishkoodeh Quendishnakas, meanwhile, Jikandodem, the Benamagishanado, meanwhile, the Benamashkamakwe. Creator God, I just want to say Chimigwech for hearing our prayers, Chimigwech for bringing us together, Chimigwech for the spirit of the sacred fire and for all these beautiful medicines that you have gifted us. I just want to ask you, Creator, to surround each and every one of us and our families with that circle of white light, protection, and to fill our beings, to fill these vessels with your love and light. And as we journey on and journey off of this Zoom shop, Creator, I just want you, to think about all those people that are out there in the world that are suffering. We think about all those people that are at war, that are homeless, that are suffering from addictions, domestic violence and abuse, missing, murdered, and all of those little spirits, that have showed themselves to us, Creator. We think about all their families and their future generations. And I want to say Chimigwech to all our ancestors that sit with us and that watch over us and that bless us. And we thank you for all the blessings, because sometimes, Creator, we forget to be grateful for those little things, eh? And so I want to say Chimigwech for that gift of hearing and of smell and for our feet and all our muscles and everything in our body, for helping us to move and to come together, and for that good mind, and for bringing us together as one, Creator. I just want to say Chimigwech for bringing us together and for guiding me. I want to say Chimigwech for guiding me and Joyce and Therese and everyone there on Zoomland in their everyday life, and for making those footsteps on Mother Earth for us to follow. you know, for all our ancestors that walked the earth before us. I just want to say Chimigwech for that. And I want to say, we're so grateful for all the blessings in our lives, for our children, our grandchildren. And we want to say Chimigwech for hearing our prayers again, Creator, and for this wonderful time that we got to spend with everyone. And if we've used our words or thoughts in a bad way, Creator, I ask for forgiveness and help us to forgive ourselves. You know, if we've offended anyone, if we've hurt anyone's feelings or harmed anyone, I just want to ask for that forgiveness and help me to be able to forgive myself and to forgive also. And so I just want to say thank you for hearing our prayers again, and for our hosts and our techies and for all the grandmothers and grandfathers out there. You know, I just want to say, I want to acknowledge all of those, and for all the new births, you know, all the babies that are being born into this world. We ask that you surround them with that circle of white light protection and keep them safe. And as we journey on again, I want to say Gazogin to everyone out there on Turtle Island, and help us to remember, I love you no matter what. Miigwech, 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 nishika, 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 namaste, nishika. Namaste.